Throwing that jab a little slow. He likes to tie the right hand. There's a leaping left hook.
He jumps in with a left hook that
Boy,
time.
Patterson would have been proud of that.
Exactly.
And look for the right hand sometimes of Caio, because every once in a while, as we talked in the fight plan, Diaz's left jab can be a little slow. And also one other thing, Joe. Diaz loves to jab to the body. Not a bad idea with a skinny guy like Caio, who likes to stay on the outside. You can get a little distance. You can get a little connection by jabbing to the body. But Diaz leans forward when he jabs to the body. He tilts in a little bit. That can be a little dangerous. That can leave him open to a counter right hand. Just watch it there. You can see Caio's looking for that counter right hand a little bit. They're getting those hands down. A lot of people at home say, Teddy, that's a great thing for Diaz. I don't know that it's such a great thing, because again, by the time you get close to him, Caio has his hands up already. But on the outside with his hands down, it's hard for Diaz, and you could see it. It's hard for him to judge the distance of those punches. He's not sure if he's in or out of range. Caio has a jab, has arms so long. I mean, he can hit you from one corner to the other.
Gives you that sense. He also has been touching him with a left hook. Not much on it, but has been touching him with that left hand.
And again, look for that habit of Diaz. He'll jab to the body, but he'll lean in. He falls in. There, he falls in that time with the right hand. Diaz has a habit. Every once in a while, he's a game son of a gun. He'll get a little over anxious, and he'll start reaching. And when he starts reaching, those long arms of Caio, they're going to counter him. They're going to touch him.
Interesting main event, end of 2.
Just before the bell, the end of the round. Look at that right hand lands by Caio. Now, don't miss this. Take another look. Look, Diaz turned southpaw. What works against the southpaw, Joe?
Right hands.
Right hands. And Caio launched that right hand as soon as Diaz turned southpaw and paid dirt. He staggered him at the bell.
Right at the bell, Julio Diaz on wobbly legs as the big right hand from the unbeaten Victor Caio got to him. Let's look at the punch track numbers so far. Caio 44-33. To the body, Diaz has gotten the better of it, but the headshots, Caio 41-13, the most significant of which was that right hand at the end of 2. Round number 3 scheduled for 10. The former champ trying to find his stride again after that TKO loss, a stunner, when he was upset at the hands of Rolando Reyes. Caio 22-0 from the Dominican Republic, fighting inspired tonight after the passing of his original trainer, Rudy Pena. Fatal heart attack yesterday. Got news here before the weigh-in in South Florida.
Both these fighters are switch hitters. They can hit from either side of the plate, lefty or righty. And you see proof of it right here. Caio now decides he wants to be a southpaw.
Caio now with that back left foot. Almost a showboat. It's his base style, but there's almost a sense of a showboating with Victor Caio.
Oh, he does have that sense, you know. He feels good about himself. It makes him feel loose. One of his favorite punches is the uppercut. I alluded to it early. The uppercut is one punch that doesn't get damaged by having your hands out of chamber. You know, the other punches get damaged. You got to get them back in chamber. Not the uppercut. You don't waste any time, Joe, because they're down. The uppercut's coming from the floor. It comes right from there. And he feels loose, like you said. He feels like in his mind, he has a little advantage. And I think he thinks it adds a little pizzazz, as you touched on. You know, something that separates him a little bit. And something, more importantly, that makes him feel separated. In this business, it's about how you feel sometimes. You have to feel confident. You have to feel like a winner. You have to feel like a champion to become a champion. You know, Customato, the legendary manager, trainer, he used to always say to me, let's get these guys good trunks, get them good ropes, get them a good outfit, you know, because it's going to make them feel like fighters. And if they feel more like fighters, you know, to a certain extent, they're going to fight more like fighters. And now you see Diaz. He's saying what you can do, I can do. Caio turns southpaw, Diaz turns southpaw. And they're fencing with each other a little bit.
And now he goes orthodox, does Caio. So it didn't take but 5 seconds for him to then switch hit and counter to what Diaz was doing.
Yeah, and then Diaz switches and goes back to orthodox.
So a little bit of a chess match here in round number 3. More to come. We asked the undefeated Victor Cayo about that awkward style of his.
I feel comfortable fighting with my hands down. I think it makes my opponent feel comfortable, and they try to come in, and that's when I let go of my punches.
So right here, you see him doing his work with his hands down. They're down nice and low. He has no problem getting those hands off.
Round number 4. Joe and Teddy with you ringside. Brian Kenny, Eddie Chambers in studio tonight. Derek Rossi had a win to open things up here on Friday Night Fights, the heavyweight who Chambers defeated before. And right now, this is a crucial fight in the career of Julio Diaz. And it's been a spectacular career, 2-time titleist. But this, a must-win. You heard what he said earlier before the fight. Well, if I can't get past a guy like Victor Cayo, then I shouldn't be going after my dreams any longer. And now Victor Cayo's going after it here in round 4.
The only problem with that, I like that attitude from the former 2-time champion Diaz. The only problem with saying if I can't get past a guy like Cayo, I don't deserve to continue in this business is you don't know what Victor Cayo is.
Yeah, you got to define that, a guy like Cayo, because
you don't know.
You don't know. Is he legit or not?
That's exactly right. And you might find out tonight he is legit.
Well, on Teddy's scorecard, Victor Cayo has it 2-1. That third round was much more tactical. In the second round, Cayo landed a strong right hand. It came right before the bell, and Diaz wobbled back to the corner.
And again, both guys like to look for the right hand. Diaz a little slow with the jab. Cayo sees that sometimes, and there's
that lunging left hook.
Yeah, again, that Floyd Patterson leaping left hook. Diaz would like to land one like Floyd landed against Ingemar Johansson in that second fight when Floyd Patterson became the first heavyweight to ever regain his title, knocked Ingemar out cold with that leaping left hook. See, if you're going to do that leaping left hook, there's a science to it. You don't just load up and let it rip. You have to make sure that you're a little outside the right hand of your opponent, and you have to make sure that your opponent's not set to punch. Maybe he's moving his feet a little bit, and you pick the spot.
And veteran Diaz picked the spot well 2 times tonight.
Joe, if you pick the wrong spot with that leaping hook, it looks good when it's landed. But you pick the wrong spot when your opponent's set. That was a good right hand, but a push. Not a knockdown ruled by the ref. If you pick the wrong spot for that leaping left hook when your opponent is set in front of you, set with that right hand, you're the one going on the floor.
Undoubtedly. With all that energy coming forward, that would be the case.
But what you call this right now is maybe the experience, the confidence of the former world champion Diaz starting to pick up a little bit, starting to try to take control, starting to test the young guy.
End of 4.
Watch what's in the mind and eyes of Diaz. He sees Cayo lean back a little bit, he jumps in with the hook. It was safe. Kind of like diving into a pool. You know, you make sure nobody's swimming, make sure everything's clear, you make sure there's water there, and then you dive in.
Yeah, that water helps.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Joe and Teddy now glad to be joined by heavyweight contender Fast Eddie Chambers. And Eddie, we're seeing a guy opposite Diaz tonight, Victor Cayo, who's definitely fast, but he's also extremely unorthodox. Size up what you see out of Victor Cayo. What are the available opportunities for Julio Diaz when you look at Victor Cayo?
Well, in the beginning, Cayo, his style, his hands-down style, accompanied with the speed, was really a lot for Julio to deal with in the beginning. But as we see as the fight goes on, the experience is taking over. He's starting to feint a little bit, do a little bit of leaping left hooks, and it's hard for Cayo because his hands are down to judge when it's coming, and it's landing a little pretty flush, and it hit him a couple good shots as the fight is going on.
Eddie, this is the first time in the undefeated Cayo's career that he stepped up really made a big step up in class. And I always talk about this business being 75% mental. What went through your head the first time you stepped up, and you knew you were stepping up? Fighters always know. You were stepping up significantly with better opposition.
Well, I'll say that was when I fought Dominic Gwynn, I'll say. I mean, Rossi was a step up, don't get me wrong, but really it was when I fought Dominic Gwynn. You know, I've seen him on television several times, and I knew it was going to be a tough fight. You could barely talk to me the day before, but when you get in there, you just have to leave all that behind and realize he's just another guy, and get in there and box and do what you do best, and I did that night.
And you've done it well since, Eddie.
Thanks.
Great job in studio tonight. Eddie Chambers, #3 according to Ring Magazine in the world in the heavyweight division. Top American heavyweight out there right now. Chambers and, of course, Cristobal Arreola.
Joe,
Younger guys.
I'm seeing right now that's hurting Diaz. And I'm a little surprised he's not using experience. The longer arms, you don't need me to tell you, they serve Caio on the outside. He gets in